Okay, I'm Esther. I'm a web developer at Torchbox. Torchbox is a digital agency specializing in creating website, digital marketing strategies, and web application for charities, universities, and governments. We also create a super handy CMS for Django called Wagtail, and maybe you heard of it. So I'm also one of the PyCon Italia organizer and one of the Strawberry Graphical core dev. So today I want to tell you about my story, about my little trouble that I had last year. And so I used to work on a UK company called May.com. Maybe you never heard of it, but was an online retailer, a foreign retailer, something like IKEA, but more expensive. We had a huge technology department. These are all my ex-colleagues. And yeah, a good workplace culture, and I really love the place. But unfortunately, last year, the company collapsed. So suddenly, me and 500 colleagues, more or less, were left without a job. So out of the blue, I find myself looking for new opportunity and jumping back in the rabbit hole of job interviews. Yeah, that sucks so much. Anyway, my main problem was figuring out how the hell I'm gonna tell my new potential employee the workplace culture that I want, that I had before, because I couldn't just tell them, hey, I want exactly this workplace culture. Do you have? Yes or not? That wouldn't work. So yeah, I had to find a way to explain what the workplace culture that I had, and it's not easy because it's not the stuff that you do daily. I remember that, but describing the culture is an intangible thing, so it's a challenge. So yeah. Spoiler alert, I find a new one. It's called Torchbox, I already mentioned. And I should mention that we are hiring web developers. So check online our website if you're looking. So today I will do my best to describe what workplace culture really is. But if you have some insight or experiences that you want to share with me at the end of the talk, yeah, let's talk about. Okay, so workplace culture refers to all the values, the beliefs, the behaviors that shape the environment of organization, and it's like the DNA of a company. It's influenced how employees interact and collaborate, and how they grow together. It's like the personality of organization. So, like any one of us has different personality, also organization, different personalities, so, and different cultures. Some of them are more enjoyable and relaxed. Some of them are more serious and structured. Some of them prioritize creativity and innovation, while others focus on efficiency and productivity. So, of course, like our personality, the culture can evolve over time. So yeah, let's see what it's made of. So culture is all the stuff, so values and beliefs, the guiding principles that drive the actions and decision, the behaviors, the way we interact, communicate to each other. The work environment is not just the physical one that is important as well, but also the psychological one. How safe, inclusive, flexible we feel when we work. The leadership styles. Our leaders influence us so much. The rules that the company, who is making the rules, the day-to-day operation and stuff, structure, of course. The employee engagement, how much we feel enthusiastic and commit to work. It's the heartbeat that keeps the organization alive. diversity and inclusion is very, very important. It's about the mix of background and perspective and experience. It's about ensuring that everyone feels valued, accepted, and included. Yeah, we'll kind of try to dig all this topic. Yeah, why is important? The culture is the lifeblood of the organization. It can be a powerful driving force to success or a barrier to our progress. It's important because it boosts our morale, our mood, and that's lead naturally to a better productivity. If we feel valued and included, we are more likely to join our work, which naturally leads to a better output. A positive workplace culture is important to attract top talent, and this reduces significantly the turnover. If we provide creativity and innovation in the environment, employees are more likely to come out with new ideas, and that lead the company to innovation. And our reputation, how the way we are seen by the client, by the partners, by the public, is a positive workplace culture means that basically boosts the brand of the organization as well, and contribute to the mental health of our employees, and that reduce the burnout and the healthcare cost. And so last, happy employees means happy customers. So it's not just a nice to have, it's very, very important to the organization's success. Okay, let's dive better in some components. The failure, embracing failure. When failure is seen as a defeat, make the work very, very difficult because we are focused only on avoid mistake and we are terrified about doing. And instead, when we stop that and we start to see them as a grown opportunity, an opportunity to refine our approach, it liberate us, and that's bring better productivity. I should warn that if when you switch this kind of mentality, of course the mistake will gonna rise, but it's not just we are making more mistakes, it's just that people start to report them. So that means that before they were hiding, and now that are not hiding anymore, the teams can learn from each other, and it's important to create an environment they will feel safe to report them. Yeah, that's improve the mutual sharing. The workplace environment is very, very important. For example, the color affects us so much. When we are like in a room that has the color red, we are more alert and detail-oriented, and yeah, it can be bad for tasks that involves big picture thinking, for example. And that's kind of the reason because many of us are more comfortable working from home because the environment is customized to their needs and they feel more comfortable, so they work better. An organization that allows to customize or gives a little bit of money to customize your work environment result in happier employees as well. Encourage exploration. Innovative companies are doing this kind of practice to allow their employees to put aside some time in their work time to explore solution. The only condition is that should benefit for the company. For example, in my company, Touchberg, we are allowed to have like 20% to dedicate 20% of our time to learning. So each day we can do something, can be open source, can be learning, can be improving something in the company overall. And it's very important. So this approach really pay off. So company like Google, so product like Gmail or Google Earth came out in this way. So employees start to work on their initiative, basically. Yeah, when we can't disconnect, we can fully recover. So a culture like work hard or leave is drive us to burnout and more stress only. So leader as well should produce a very good example because if managers send us messages late at night, that's implicitly encourage us to work late at night. So healthy work culture should teach us to set some boundaries between work and personal life. And yeah, it's essential to unplug for our health and productivity. Gratitude helps us to appreciate the positive events when they happen and help to last them even longer. So grateful people also recover from stress more quickly and behave more generously overall. So you can start keeping a gratitude journal or set some time apart for like a little meeting, I don't know, every few weeks maybe, to share the recent accomplishment as a group. And you will notice that during these meetings or journal, if they were public, if an employee thank you a colleague for a contribution, that's create like a mimic behavior, so everyone will start to proud other colleagues, and yeah. Diversity and inclusion is not just ticking a box, it's very, very important for organization. It's crucial because fuels innovation and problem solving. When we embrace different backgrounds, experience, way of thinking, it will enable us to navigate the challenge when they happen more efficiently and more creatively. So having a culture where anyone is heard and valued and included is not just the right thing to do, but is a strategic move for organization to lead them up to success. So diversity and inclusion, gender gap, gender stereotypes is kind of a topic on its own and requires other 30 minutes of your time. So I will talk about next week at JangaCon. So see you there, maybe. Other strategy to boost to create a positive workplace culture. So studies shows that employees with a best friend at work tend to be more focused, more passionate, more loyal to their organizations. So feeling a connection with your colleague is very, very important because when the colleagues are close and you put less effort in your work, it's like letting your friends down. So, and anyone wants to do that. So doing a good job is for your friends or colleagues is like a huge, huge, huge motivator, much better than anything that your boss can say. So when we had to deal with a difficult colleague, we put so much effort, so much energy that result in missing productivity. So yeah, it's a thing I think anyone has experienced at some point in their life. But we can't like force our colleague to become friends. So friendship is just a natural, that happen natural. But we can encourage in some ways. A very, very important start is the onboarding. Onboarding doesn't start just the first day of work. Start also before, so when you decide to join the company, And yeah, the organization can decide to, for example, assign a buddy or a person, a colleague, a specific colleague that follow you and guide you, advise. Because joining a new company is like joining a party that is going on for years and years and can be a bit awkward. So it's important to encourage the new employee to present themselves, not just telling the CV, because I already know the CV and we already hired, is not point, but share a bit of their passion, a bit of themselves, what they are passionate about. For example, if someone say, I don't know, I like hiking. Oh, cool. There is the hiking group on weekends. Or I like cat. Oh, there is the cat channel. Let's start something. It's a start. Another thing that is crucial for the organization and it's very, very important is feedbacks. This is the core point of workplace culture. And having a culture that can encourage continuous feedback is very, very important because receiving feedbacks give us like an emotional rush and increasing the value of our work and motivate us to do better and to continue to do our best. So the feedback, you can think about the feedback, about giving advice to your colleague. That will make giving the feedback more easily or receiving, because shift the focus on the importance of looking a way to improve and helps to create a constructive feedback. Feedback should be given like when the job is done, so immediately, not just once a year when it's pay rise time. So do more and more, continuous. Survey. Anytime that you do an event or everything, you want to know if the practice, maybe you invest so much money in it. If you want to understand if the meet the goal, if was inclusive enough, if your employee like it. And so yeah, especially the exit surveys, they are crucial to reduce the turnovers because you can understand why your employees are leaving. For example, you can be that there is an issue with the manager and managers, and you should invest more time to train them, for example. Yeah, in Torchburg we do surveys all the time for everything. Another thing is when unfortunately something bad happened, you want to be sure that you have something in place to report. You should remind every time, constantly about it. Otherwise, if you say only on onboarding, everyone will forget about. And importance of anonymous, so people are trust and are more free to report what happened, unfortunately. Yeah, the last bit is about find a new job, of course. So you have to remind yourself that when you're looking for a new job, it's not just the company that is looking if you are a good fit, but you are also interviewing the company to see if it's a good fit for you. So you should not be shy to ask specific questions about the culture, about if they do feedback, failures, everything that I said before. These are some examples. Last, I want to share an interesting story, I would say. I find it in a book. Anyway, Alcoa was a US company dealing with metal, so very, very risky thing. And during the 80s, they have a lot of incidents. That incident was really bad. At some point, they changed the CTO. And this CTO this initial speech was, okay, I want to focus only on safety. And all the investors were freaking out because he didn't talk about profit and stuff. But this focusing on this key point shifted all the culture of the organization, because manager have to report immediately. Anyone had to report immediately incidents. And for example, if manager were not reporting, they were not promoted. So anyone will not promote if they don't give feedback or report something. And yeah, now, because this feedback culture is one of the safest company on earth, probably, they shifted the focus so much that that the workers were giving feedback also outside at work. For example, there was a worker that noticed that there was a breach, workers working outside, and they were not using safety measure. So immediately, without thinking, he went to notify them to the local authorities. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. This is tough. I want to conclude on a personal note. So I dedicate this talk to all my friends that are struggling in their workplace, and especially to one of my friends that has died recently, not because the workplace, but anyway. So life is too short to spend on a shitty workplace. So please. It's true that we are responsible for our workplace, for the workplace culture in some levels, but we should do our best to improve it. But at some point, if your bosses, if your manager then fail to acknowledge this issue, you need to give up, and for your mental health, and that's. So, yeah, movies is art, I know, but I want to know that speaking of your problems, there is a community that know what is going on, so speak to someone. And yeah, these are some resources that I found. Okay, this book, I took many of my talk from this book. Probably there are many, but I forgot to add the slides. Oops. Yeah. So thank you. That's what it.
So giving a good speech is not easy, and when you make it even more emotional, then that's wonderful. I think she deserves another applause. Thank you, Esther, for this. I think I speak for every single person in this room when I say that we all felt that you put a heart into this and that you really care about it. Anyway, there are two questions for you here. Do you think remote working can be a barrier to employee inclusion, and how much it can reduce productivity?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Do you think remote working can be a barrier to employee inclusion, and how much it can reduce productivity?
Okay. Well, of course, when you have remote people, it's a little bit hard. You have to plan all the activities, keeping in mind that you have workers for around the world, and make it online or do some special event from time to time to bring them together. If you plan one, I don't think that it reduces productivity overall. But it's a challenge as well. Having remote is not easy. There are good and bad points, I guess.
Yeah, like in everything, I suppose. Thank you for that. There is another question for you. How did you understand that the new job position was the right place for you with the correct workplace culture?
So I think from the interview, I feel a good vibes. Yeah, for me, well, there was many things that I like, of course. Yeah, and I heard about the company before joining, about their activities, and etc.
Yeah, do your research online before you...
Yeah, I did my research, and especially the interview. I feel something at some point.
There is a click between you and the company.
I think the interviewer were human, and we have a nice conversation. So I feel that was the good place. Of course, I wasn't sure until the very last, because it's very hard. It's not that you can ask all the stuff that you want, but until you join, you will never know unless you know someone inside. I know people not inside, but working with them, and yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure you all feel she was very emotional even when she was answering your questions, but she did really good job. So let's give her another round of applause.